You've been texting her constantly, always initiating conversations and being the one who keeps the connection live. Then one day you decide to stop. You put your phone down and focus on your own life. What happens next will surprise you and understanding. The psychology behind her response will completely change how you approach relationships with women. Most men believe that if they stop talking to a woman, she will simply move on and forget about them. This could not be further from the truth. When you suddenly withdraw your attention from a woman who's grown accustomed to receiving it, the mind goes through a predictable psychological process that often leads to behaviors most men never expect, and what unfolds after that is a fascinating look into the deeper layers of female psychology. The first thing that happens is what psychologists call the curiosity gap. When your consistent communication pattern suddenly changes, her brain automatically tries to fill in the missing information. She starts wondering why you stopped reaching out, what you are doing, and whether something happened. This curiosity creates mental preoccupation that actually makes her think about you more than when you were constantly available. This is because the mind is wired to seek closure, and when our routine is disrupted, it creates tension that demands resolution. And here is where female psychology gets interesting, because this small shift in your actions creates a storm of thoughts, emotions, and questions in her mind that she cannot easily ignore. Women are naturally wired to notice changes in relationship dynamics much more acutely than men. When you stop initiating contact, she immediately recognizes the shift in power balance. The person who was once pursuing her attention has suddenly become unavailable, and this triggers what researchers call the scarcity principle in her mind. This is not just about attention, it is about the value that comes with rarity. When something becomes rare, it instantly feels more desirable and more important. This is why your absence hits harder than your constant presence ever did. After a few days of silence, most women will start checking your social media activity more frequently. She wants to see if you are okay, if you are talking to other people, or if there are clues about why you stopped reaching out. This digital detective work is her way of gathering information without directly asking you what is happening. The psychology behind this behavior involves something called loss aversion. Humans naturally fear losing something they had more than they appreciate gaining something new. When your attention disappears, she starts valuing what she lost more than she valued it when she had it consistently, and this powerful realization can completely change how she sees you. This mental shift often leads to her initiating contact for the first time in weeks or months. Many women will test the waters with casual messages that seem unrelated to your silence. She might send you a funny meme, ask about something you mentioned weeks ago, or create an excuse to start a conversation. These seemingly innocent messages are actually her way of checking if you are still interested without appearing needy or desperate. And every small move she makes at this endpoint is a sign that your withdrawal has shifted the dynamic in your favor. Here is what most men do not realize about the female mind during no-contact periods. She starts romanticizing your past interactions and remembering the positive aspects of your connection more vividly. The absence of new negative or mundane interactions allows her memory to focus on the highlights, making you appear more attractive in retrospect. If she was taking your attention for granted before, your silence forces her to confront the possibility that you might not always be available. This realization often triggers what psychologists call reactance theory, where people desire something more when they perceive their access to it is threatened or restricted, and this is not a surface-level reaction. It is deeply rooted in the human drive for autonomy and control. The most common response is that she will eventually reach out with increased enthusiasm and engagement. Her messages become longer, more personal, and show genuine interest in reconnecting. This is not manipulation on her part, it is a natural psychological response to the perceived loss of a positive connection in her life. Some women will even become more flirtatious or suggest meeting up when you stop initiating contact. The dynamic shift makes her work for your attention, instead of passively receiving it, which often increases her investment in the interaction and her attraction toward you. And what is truly powerful is that this change is not forced, it is inspired by the psychological weight of your absence. The key lesson here is understanding the power of strategic withdrawal. When you stop being constantly available, you force others to value your presence and actively participate in maintaining their relationship. This creates healthier, more balanced dynamics where both people contribute to the connection. Balanced relationships are not built on one person constantly chasing while the other passively receives. They are built on shared energy, mutual effort, and equal respect. Remember, this is not about playing games or manipulating anyone. It is about understanding human psychology and creating relationships where both parties invest equally in maintaining the connection. Your time, your energy, and your attention are valuable, and when you learn to protect them, you will naturally attract people who truly appreciate them, instead of giving endlessly without return. You will create an environment where she sees your presence as a gift and not as something guaranteed. If this insight into female psychology, when you stop talking, helped you understand relationship dynamics better, smash that like button and subscribe. Form or psychology-based relationship advice. Comment below with your own experiences of what happened when you stopped initiating, and share how it shifted the entire way you view attraction, attention, and connection.